Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to boy GhostGG. Today we are checking out the Blood of Dawnwalker hands-on preview from IGN first. These last few weeks have been so much Blood of Dawnwalker stuff. The game is coming out September 3rd, 6th, something like that, which is like 2 months away, a little bit less than 2 months away. So we're pretty close to the release of this game. So it makes sense that they have just a bunch of like hands-on previews and all that stuff, right? But yeah, so let's get right into this. Here.
Monster!
Polish developer Rebel Wolves has worn a confident face since it first revealed The Blood of Dawnwalker early last year. The
game looks so
reveal
sick.
trailer featured a gorgeously grisly cutscene.
Also from former developers of The Witcher 3 and like all that, like I'm here for it.
Medieval open world. Crafted by many of the minds behind The Witcher 3, everything we've seen since has effectively proclaimed that this new vampire RPG intends to fight in the same leagues as CD Projekt Red's best.
That enemy
My
looks
recent
cool.
visit to Rebel Wolves was something of a proving ground then. Until now, all access to The Blood of Dawnwalker had been hands-off. But for this IGN first demonstration, I'd be playing for 4 hours straight, beginning
sick.
with selecting Start New Game from the main menu. 240 minutes later, my long-held feelings were mostly confirmed. The Blood of Dawnwalker has plenty of that Witcher magic, but it fuels something with its own equally interesting identity.
Cool, nice.
Back home. Father will be worried.
Father's already there.
By starting from the game's very beginning, the first 3 hours of this demo covered much of the same ground as my previous hands-off preview. Protagonist Cohen lives a small-town life in the Carpathian Valley of Vale Sangora, an area ruled by vampires who have freed the people from plague and taxes in exchange for a monthly blood tithe. The next is due tonight, and Dawnwalker's approach to time, there's only so much of it, represented by a sort of currency that you spend to push forward quests, means that you can only complete so many objectives before the ominous bloodmass begins. But playing this prologue on my own terms allowed me to explore much more of Cohen's village than I'd seen before, and even rearrange the details of his story. Whatever Rebel Wolves had shown me previously, I did the complete opposite. This began with Gremla, a distraught woman whose cries had been ignored during the hands-off. She'd been sewing a tapestry banner in honour of the vampire's leader, Brentsis, and it was due to be displayed at the evening's bloodmass, but it's been stolen. Thus begins what is effectively a tour of the village, introducing a number of characters who would otherwise have blended into the background as you interrogate suspects, cross-examine their statements, and use a focus vision ability to assess footprints and trails. As a tutorial quest, it's practically on rails, bouncing you from villager to villager as you narrow down the guilty party. But it's a clear demonstration that, like Geralt before him, Cohen will need to play detective from time to time. And when you find the culprit, it's up to you how to deal with them.
I actually really enjoy the detective part of video games.
And your choice twists one of the prologue's key events. While The Blood of Dawnwalker makes no distinction between main and side quests, the prologue does have one storyline that feels more critical. A quest that tasks me to find medicinal herbs for Cohen's sick mother takes me to the House of Anka, a local witch who appears destined to become one of Dawnwalker's romantic options. While the writing is pretty solid across the whole breadth of this preview demo, the dialogue between Cohen and Anka is the highlight. There's genuine affection between the two of them, delivered without ever dipping into corniness or obnoxious flirtation. As I dig deeper through the quest's dialogue trees, Anka makes multiple references to being an old woman, despite looking no older than 30.
That's what love is. Apparently.
Apparently.
I may be a wise old woman, Cohen.
It's a subtle combination of both character and world building. Plague and hardship means no one lives long around here, and Anka's role as the local healer has made her wise beyond her years. A sudden storm forces the two of us inside, and I'm given the option to spend extra time with Anka by studying her books. I cannot be late for the evening's bloodmass, and so I only have the daylight hours to complete Cohen's chores, a period represented by a HUD element split into 8 segments. Most of the prologue's quests consume one segment, but choosing to extend my stay with Anka will effectively double the cost of this task. I was already fascinated by Dawnwalker's time as a resource system.
This time thing is going to be interesting.
How it will demand interesting choices from us. Is it worth spending time that could be utilized elsewhere to deepen my relationship with a paramour? For now, I entertain Cohen's awkward infatuation. and even invite Anchor to study some salacious literature with me. Perhaps this means I won't have time for a quest that provides a more significant material reward later on in the day, but love never did come without sacrifice. With a pocket full of herbs and a heart full of butterflies, I leave Anchor's storm-ravaged hut and head back home to administer the remedy to Cohen's mother. Completing that task has a significant impact on the prologue. It doesn't exactly branch the narrative, but the resulting events in my demo are notably different to what I witnessed in the hands-off. It's all too significant to spoil here, but it seems like Rebel Wolves has found a way to change the story's stakes and Cohen's emotional connection to them without having to totally rewrite the Blood of Dawnwalker's core plot. I suspect some players will perceive this as a bit of narrative trickery that makes no genuine impact. I'll reserve such a judgment until I see how the outcome of this quest ripples through the whole campaign. But for now I feel pretty positive about how the consequences of your actions are handled here. By the prologue's end, Cohen has become the titular Dawnwalker, a man by day and a vampire by night. And with the first elements of his toolset unlocked, I'm thrown into the open world of Vale Sangora. From what I can see, the valley is large without threatening to overwhelm. There's a lot of ground to cover, which you can do so by magically increasing your run speed during the day or by transforming into a wolf when the moon rises. But the world doesn't appear large enough to turn this into a Skyrim that you'll be exploring for hundreds of hours over multiple years. The small section of the map I explored had several activities, but sadly Rebel Wolves didn't provide us with footage of any of them. However, you can read all about what I got up to in the full written preview on IGN.com, which involved fighting this bear and following this luminescent wisp to the scene of a lover's death. Almost all the open world errands involved Dawnwalker's unusual combat system, which is fully directional, akin to games like For Honor and Kingdom Come Deliverance. When an enemy swings their sword from the left, you push the right analog stick to move your blade to meet theirs. When your foe guards low, you hoist your weapon above your head and strike downwards. It's a little tricky to master and demands a lot of concentration. Thankfully, you can effectively break down the system into pieces and graduate through it. By tapping just the block or attack button, Cohen will strike or defend from all angles at the cost of more stamina. You can start there, and when you've become more confident, begin to introduce the directional elements, and later finally start tapping block at the last second to score some very satisfying perfect parries. When it all comes together, there's a real rhythm to the combat, especially in single opponent duels, but an unexpected blow or an additional assailant joining the melee could easily knock me out of that rhythm, and the consequences were fatal. It's very difficult to heal mid-battle. I was exploring at night, so I had access to my vampire skills, but the neck-chomping ability only restores Cohen's health by a fraction, and its cooldown feels like an eternity when you're on the knife edge between life and death. Combine this with enemies that all feel like they have health pools 15% too deep, and repeat encounters against 6 or so soldiers at a time, and I found the combat system's strong foundations eventually became arduous. By the end of my hour in the open world, I was feeling fairly burnt out on Dawnwalker's swordplay. That's not to say I want to avoid combat entirely. The fundamentals of battle are strong, and while the demo's later encounters felt drawn out, there's every chance that new inventory items and skill unlocks may well balance it all out, and further experience with the system may wash those worries away. But even if swordplay remains iffy, well, that was the thorn in The Witcher 3's side, wasn't it? And so it's the quality of the quests, the writing, and that time as a resource structure that interests me the most. And after having experienced it all for myself, I remain confident that The Blood of Dawnwalker is the next RPG worth paying very close attention to. For more from The Blood of Dawnwalker, check out our exclusive gameplay clip and stick with IGN all the way through July.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was a quick little 8-minute rant about the prologue of the game, really. Just like the beginning a little bit, first 4 hours. And like I said before, this game looks like a lot of fun. The time aspect of it is very interesting. What was that game that I talked about once upon a time? Dead Rising. I played growing up. That game was very time constrained as well. Like you had an X amount of time to inject yourself with Zombrex, and also X amount of time to save as many survivors and do the missions and like take care of the cycles and everything. Like you couldn't really do everything unless you like prioritized it in like a very specific way and did it fast. But yeah, like this is obviously different. Every mission you do, a part of the bar goes up, right? Some missions require 2 time slots, and I think activities in the world require time slots as well. So you really can't do everything. But I think you have like 30 days worth, and each slot is what, like eight slots before a day passes or something. So you can do quite a bit probably, but not everything. and that's very interesting. I'm going to see how that balances out and how much of replayability comes from that. But yeah, the combat looks fun. It's very Kingdom Come Deliverance, but a lot faster and less. And it's not first person, obviously it's third person. And yeah, the Kingdom Come Deliverance was more of that type of combat, but more on the realistic side and just a lot more gritty. This is like just faster paced action RPG, third person. It feels different, but it's the same type. And yeah, like it looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait to play it. It's 2 months. It's going to be here. We're going to be checking it out for sure. If you guys want to watch me play this game, go over to GhostGG Plays, link down in the description. Go subscribe, hit the notification bell, and when I get that first part out, you guys will know. And I'll be playing many games in between then. Starting tomorrow, I believe, I'll be playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. And then I think in August we have another game coming out, Beast of Reincarnation, I believe comes out in August. I might be playing Sword Art online, what was it, the Ancrad game, I can't remember what it's called, Echoes of Ancrad. I might be playing that in August as well. We will be seeing. I might play some old games. I may play Fable 1 and try to play Fable 2 and 3 if I can figure out how. And maybe some Star Wars Force Unleashed 1 and 2. I just bought those games. They're on sale for the Steam sale. So I might be checking out some old games in August as well. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.